First question. Which one among the following is not a cause of generation of ocean current? Answer is revolution of the earth. Explanation. Ocean currents can be caused by wind, density difference in water masses caused by temperature and salinity variation, gravity and events such as earthquake and storms. Surface currents in the ocean are driven by global wind systems that are fueled by energy from the sun. Question number 2. Collision coalescence process of precipitation is applicable to clouds which extend beyond freezing level. Collision coalescence process is an important mechanism in formation of raindrops in warmer clouds, or we can say whose temperature do not extend beyond the freezing level. This phenomenon cannot occur in circocumulus clouds because they are made up of ice crystals and supercooled water. Question number 3. The equatorial region has no other seasons except summer. What would be the reason? In general, the further away from the equator you travel, the cooler summer and winter temperature becomes. At the equator, there is no seasons because each day the sun strikes at about the same angle. Every day of the year, the equator receives about 12 hours of sunlight. The poles remain cool because they are never tilted in the direct path of sunlight. Much light is scattered by the atmosphere before reaching the Earth's surface at the poles. During midwinter, when the poles are tilted away from the sun, there is no daylight at all. The sun never rises. However, during the summer, a pole receives sunlight all the time and there is no night. Question number 4. Which one of the following is depositional form? Answer is stalagmite. Many depositional forms develop within a limestone caves. The chief chemical in limestone is calcium carbonate, which is easily soluble in carbonated water, that is carbon dioxide absorbed rainwater. Stalagmites may take the shape of column, a disc with either a smooth, rounded, bulging end or a miniature crater-like depression. Stalactites hang as isolates of different diameter. Normally, they are broad at their bases and tapered towards the free ends, showing up the variety of forms. Question number 5. Nearly 30% of the solar radiation return back to the space without contributing anything to the Earth's surface temperature. This amount of radiation is known as Earth's albedo. Astronomers define the reflectivity of an object in space using a term called albedo. This is the amount of electromagnetic radiation that reflect away compared to the amount that gets absorbed. A perfectly reflective surface would get an albedo score of 1, while the completely dark object would have an albedo of 0. Of course, it's not that black and white in nature, and all the objects have an albedo score that ranges between 0 to 1. The lower the albedo, the more radiation from the sun gets absorbed by the planet and the temperatures will rise. If the albedo is higher and the earth is more reflective, more of the radiation is returned to space and planet gets cool. Albedo also varies accordingly to an angle of incidence of the sun rays being uh, of higher for slanting rays and lower for vertical or nearly vertical rays. So albedo will be relatively higher during early morning and late evening because of sometimes sun rays are slanting. Question number 6. Which among the following statements are correct? Solar noons can occur simultaneously only at locations with same longitude. In other words, Only one meridian can be directly under the sun and experience solar noons at a given moment. Solar noon occurs simultaneously at a location with the same longitude. Question number 7. If the time of the place located on 165 degree east meridian is 11 p.m. on Sunday, what would be the time at the place located on 165 west meridian? The east 165 east meridian runs between New Zealand and Australia up into the tip of Russia. If it is 11 p.m. Sunday, when there is there, then the 165 west meridian would be 11 p.m. Saturday. Question number 8. Which one among the following statement about international dateline are correct? The international dateline established in 1884 passes through the mid-Pacific Ocean and roughly flows a 180-degree longitude, the north-south line on the earth. It is located halfway around the world from prime meridian, the 0 degrees longitude established in Greenwich, England in 1852. The international dateline functions as the line of demarcation separating two consecutive calendar dates. When you cross the dateline, you become a time traveler of sorts, cross to the west, and it's one day later, cross back, you are gone back in the time. Question number 9. Bagasse, a byproduct of sugar manufacturing industry, is used for the production of dash. Answer is paper. Bagasse is the byproduct of sugar mill and a typical raw material for the paper making fibers. Bagasse is a kind of a grass fiber. It is easy to cook and bleach. It consumes less chemical and contains less silicon than wood, but it is lower than the other grass fiber raw material. Therefore, bagasse pulping and alkali recovery technology and equipment are more mature and simpler than the straw fiber raw material. So, bagasse is a cheap raw material for pulping. After years of research and production practice, the technology and equipment of bagasse pulp and paper production have developed rapidly, and the investment of bagasse pulp and paper making is more economical and more mature than other non-wood raw material and broad-leaved wood pulp and paper making. Question number 10. Which of the following best explain why the lower course of river is sometimes choked with sediments? The lower course of river is sometimes choked with sediments because the valley of the river is widest in its lower course. The velocity of a river in its lower course is low, and delta sometimes develops in the river's lower course. Question number 11. Match the list 1 with list 2. List 1, natural vegetation of India. List 2, annual rainfall received. Tropical evergreen forest. Annual rainfall is about 200 centimeter. Tropical deciduous forest 100 to 200 centimeter. Tropical dry forest 50 to 100 centimeter. Arid forest less than 50 centimeter. Question number 12. Consider the following statements. Rural forestry. It envisages on the plantation of multi-utility of trees at a certain distance in rows according to the crops is done under agroforestry. Farm forestry. In farm forestry, farmers are given incentive by the government and encouraged to plant trees on their own farms. A farmer needs firewood for cooking and agricultural implements, fodder for cattle and manure for his fields. Question number 13. Consider the following statement. The rotation of the earth about its axis affects the direction of the wind, and this force is called Coriolis force. It is directly proportional to the angle of latitude. It deflects the wind to the left direction in the southern hemisphere and right direction in the northern hemisphere. The deflection is more when the wind velocity is high. It is maximum at the poles and absent at the equator, where is increase in latitude. Earth's rotation velocity decreases. Question number 14. What is a cloudburst? It refers to sudden and copious rainfall over a small area which often lasts only for only a few minutes. A cloudburst is an extreme amount of precipitation in a short period of time, sometimes accompanied by hail and thunder, which is capable of creating flood condition. The rain from the cloudburst is usually of the shower type with fall rate equal to the greater than 100 mm per hour. Question number 15. Earth's latitude lie within the atmospheric pressure belt of subtropical high. Earth's latitude either of the two subtropical atmosphere and high pressure belts that encircles Earth around the latitudes of 30 degree to 35 degree north and 30 degree 30 to 35 degree south, and that generate light winds and clear skies. Question number 16. In the interior of the earth, the temperature rises with increasing depth. The earth gets hotter as one travels towards the core, known as the geothermal gradient. The geothermal gradient is the amount that the earth's temperature increases with depth. On average, temperature increased by about 25 degrees centigrade for every kilometer of depth. Question number 17. Consider the following statement. The term Neritic is used to describe the shallow part of the ocean near the coast and overlying the continental shelf. Neritic sediments are generally shallow water deposits formed close to land. The distribution of neritic sediments is controlled by proximity to the source of lithogenesis, that is, from land masses sediments, and not biogenesis from organism. Neritic sediments are also called turbidities. Turbidity is the measure of level of particles such as sediments, planktons, and the organic byproducts in the body of water. Question number 18. Consider the following statement. The total area of the ocean covered by the continental shelf is approximately 7.5%. A continental shelf extends from the coastline to the continent to a drop off point called the shelf break. From the break, the shelf descends towards the deep ocean floor in what is called the continental slope. Even though they are underwater, continental shelves are part of the continent. Question number 19. Consider the following statement. Abyssal plains are extensive plains that lie between the continental margin and mid-oceanic ridge. They are among the flattest, smoothest, and the least explored region of Earth. Abyssal plains cover more than 50% of the Earth's surface. The actual boundary of the continent is not its coastline but the edges of the continental shelf, because continental shelf is the extension of the continent. Question number 20. Where fold mountains run parallel and close to the coast, continental shelf is narrow or absent. The average depth of continental shelf is 100 meters. Sea mounts are pinnacled mountains. Question number 21. What does global dimming mean? Global dimming is defined as the decrease in the amount of solar radiation reaching the surface of the earth. The byproduct of the bright is tiny particles or pollutants which absorb solar energy and reflect back sunlight into space. This phenomenon was first recognized in the year 1950. Scientists believe that since 1950 the sun energy reaching earth has dropped by 9% in Antarctica, 10% in USA, 16% in the parts of Europe, 30% in Russia, putting overall average drop to be an enormous 22%. Question number 22. A river can be divided into three parts on the basis of its course: upper course, middle course, and lower course. In upper course, the river flows down the steep slope. As a result, its velocity and eroding power are at their maximum. Waterfalls, rapids, V-shaped valley, gorges are the common to see in this course, while in middle course landforms like alluvial fans, Piedmont, alluvial plains, meanders, etc. can be seen. In the lower course, the river starts to flow through the broad level plain with heavy debris brought down from upper and middle course. Landforms like braided channels, floodplains, leaves, meanders, oxbow lakes, delta, etc. can be seen in this stage. Question number 23. Which of the following methods is suitable for soil conservation in hilly region? Following steps are taken to control the soil erosion in hilly region. First one, contour plug. This refers to plug around the contour lines. Terrace farming, construction of step along the hilly areas by cutting the rock layers to reduce the flow of river. Plugging of gullies to prevent gully erosion. Question number 24. Consider the following statement. An anticyclone, as a high pressure area, is a large atmospheric circulation system with the wind flowing clockwise around it in the northern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere. The anticyclone form from air masses cooler than its surrounding leads to contraction of air making it denser, thereby increasing surface air pressure. Calm settled weather is usually synonymous with anticyclone in temperate latitudes. Question number 25. Which one among the following best explains the reason for the eastern and western boundaries of the Pacific Ocean experiencing frequent earthquakes? The eastern and the western boundaries of the Pacific Ocean margin coincide with the plate margin. Best explains the reason for the eastern and western boundaries of the Pacific Ocean experiencing frequent earthquakes. The current of the vast Pacific Ocean continue to dash against the continental margin. Question number 26. Consider the following statement. The factor influence ocean current are rotation of the earth, air pressure and wind, and ocean water density. Question number 27. Consider the following statement about layer of atmosphere. The thickness of troposphere is greater at the equator because heated air rises up, whereas at the poles it is 8 km. In equator it is 18 km. Stratosphere is almost free from clouds and associated weather phenomenon, making condition ideal for flying planes. Meteors burn in the thermosphere, thereby increasing the temperature of this layer. Question number 28. Consider the following statement. Orographic precipitation occur when warm, humid air strike a mountain range. Because of the initial momentum the air is forced to raise by the moisture-laden air gain height, condensation sets in and soon saturation is reached. The chief characteristic of this short of rain is that the windward slope receive greater rainfall after giving rain on the windward side. When these winds reach the other slope, they descend and their temperature rises. Then their capacity to take in moisture increases and hence this leeward slope remain rainless and dry. The area situated on the leeward side which gets less rainfall is known as rain shadow area. Question number 29. Which among the following phenomenon can occur when very warm and humid air is rising over the mass of very cold air? Answer is snowfall and storms and cyclonic storms. Consider the following statement. Dynamic metamorphism. Dynamic metamorphism refers to the formation of metamorphic rocks under high pressure, Sometimes high pressure is accompanied by high temperature and the action of chemically charged water. The combination of directed pressure and heat is very powerful in producing metamorphism because it leads to more or less complete recrystallization of rock and the production of new structure. This is known as dynamic thermal metamorphism. Question number 31. Consider the following statement related to folding. Folding occurs in deep rock which are under high pressure and ductile, that is bendable, and behave like a plastic, that is deforming without breaking. Rocks near the earth's surface are brittle and do not fold as a result of compressional forces. If the tectonic force is large enough, these rocks will break rather than bend. Upfold in rock structure is called anticline and downfolds are called synclines. Question number 32. Which of the following are the stages of demographic transition? The demographic transition theory studies the relationship between economic development and population growth. It discusses about the changes in birth rate and death rate and consequently growth rate of population in assonance with the process of growth and development. There are four stages in the demographic transition theory. The first stage or the stage of high birth rate and high death rate. Second stage or the stage of high birth rate and low death rate or stage of population explosion. Third stage or the stage of declining birth rate and low death rate. Fourth stage is low birth rate and low death rate. Question number 33. Match the following. Laccolith meaning dome shaped, Lopolith meaning saucer shaped, Pacholith meaning lens shaped, Batholith meaning huge mass of igneous rock. Question number 34. Consider the following statement. Basic lavas have low viscosity and due to which they flow readily. They spread out like a sheet before solidifying form lava plains and basalt plateau. Acidic lavas are highly viscous due to which the lava is less fluid. The acidic lava causes loud explosion and forms large craters. Question number 35. Consider the following statement. The intensity of the earthquake is measured on the Marshall scale. The magnitude, severity of damage of the earthquake is measured by Richter scale. Richter scale is a logarithmic scale. Consider the following statement related to Rift Valley. Rift Valley are found both on land and at the bottom of the ocean, where they are created by the process of sea floor spreading. Rift Valley differ from the river valley and glacial valley in that they are created by tectonic activity and not by the process of erosion. Rift Valley can also form at transform faults where tectonic plates are grinding past each other. Question number 36. Consider the following. Question number 37. Match the following. Barley. It can tolerate high heat and humidity. It is grown in colder climates. Rice. Rice require hot and humid condition. The temperature should be fairly high, that is 24 degree centigrade mean monthly temperature with average temperature of 22 degree centigrade to 32 degree centigrade. Rice is grown in varied soil condition but deep clayey and loamy soil provides the ideal condition. Millets. Millets are dryland crops. These crops are grown where the temperature is high, which ranges between 27 degrees centigrade to 32 degrees centigrade. Millets are less sensitive to soil deficiency. They can be grown in inferior alluvial or loamy soil. Tea. It requires a hot and wet climate. Tea bush grows well in well-drained, deep and favorable loamy soil. Question number 38. Consider the following statement. The approach of temperate cyclone is marked by fall in temperature, fall in the mercury level, wind shift, and halo around the sun and the moon, and a thin veil of cirrus clouds. The temperate cyclones experience more rainfall when there is slower movements and marked difference in rainfall and temperature between the front and the rear of the cyclone. These cyclones are generally accompanied by anticyclone. Question number 39. Which among the following are correctly arranged in decreasing order of their dissolved salt content in seawater? Answer is chlorine, sodium, sulfate, magnesium. Highest salinity in water bodies: Lake Van in Turkey, Dead Sea, and the Great Salt Lake. Consider the following. Dissolved salts in seawater. Gram of salt per kg of water. Chlorine 18.97 grams, sodium 10.47 grams, sulfate 2.65 grams, magnesium 1.25 grams, calcium 0.41 gram, potassium 0.38, bicarbonate 0.14, bromine 0.06, borate 0.02, strontium 0.01. Question number 40. Consider the following statement. Breakdown of rocks by various natural means is called weathering. It is an exogenic process. Volcanism is an extrusive igneous process. It occurs on the surface of the earth. It leads to the creation of mountains and hills. Plutonism is an intrusive igneous process and it occurs below the earth's surface. Question number 41. Which of the following areas is the best suited for the formation of air masses? An air mass is a large volume of air in the atmosphere that is mostly uniform in temperature and moisture. The following areas are the best suited for the formation of air masses. An extensive area with a broadly uniform surface of earth. Hot deserts in tropic hot desert in tropical regions. Question number 42. Examine the following statement and select the correct answer. Atmosphere is odorless, tasteless, colorless. Atmosphere is held by the earth by its gravitational force and it is an integral part of the earth. Thus particles present in the atmosphere act as hygroscopic matter. Question number 43. Which of the following statements regarding inner core is correct? P waves travel through the inner core at the higher velocity than S waves travel through the inner core. Consider the following statements with respect to subtropical jet stream. The subtropical jet stream is produced by the Earth's rotation, that is Coriolis force, and temperature contrast between tropical and subtropical region. During winter, the subtropical jet stream is nearly continuous in both hemispheres. Subtropical jet stream exists all year in the southern hemisphere. However, it is intermittent in the northern hemisphere during summer when it migrates north. Question number 45. Consider the following statement. With depth, the salinity also varies, but this variation again is subjected to latitudinal difference. The decrease is also influenced by cold and warm currents. In high latitudes, salinity increases with depth. Salinity of the island, sea, and lakes is very high because of the regular supply of water by the river falling into them. Their water becomes progressively more saline due to evaporation. Question number 46. Which of the following given rocks are basic rocks? Answer. Basic rocks are poor in silica, that is about 40%. Magnesia content is up to 40% and remaining is spread over iron oxide, lime, aluminium, alkalis, potassium, etc. Basalt, gabbro, and dolerite are typical examples of basic rocks. Question number 47. Consider the following statements about tropical cyclone. The tropical cyclone have strongest wind in the lower troposphere. Near the top of the boundary layer. These cyclones are characterized by light wind and clear skies of light clouds. Tropical cyclones have much more intense rainfall than extratropical cyclones. Question number 48. Consider the following statement about noctilucent clouds. Noctilucent clouds are formed in the upper atmosphere of the earth. They consist of ice crystals and are only visible during astronomical twilight. They are most often absorbed during the summer months. Question number 49. When raindrops evaporate before reaching the earth while passing through dry air, it is called virage. Virage means raindrops evaporate before reaching the earth. Drizzle means light rainfall. Drop size less than zero point 0.5 mm. Mist evaporation occurs before reaching the ground, leading to foggy weather. Sleet frozen raindrop and refrozen melted snow. Mixture of snow and rain are merely partially melted snow. Question number 50. Consider the following statement about the rock cycle. Igneous rock can be changed into sedimentary or metamorphic rocks. The fragments derived out of igneous and metamorphic rocks forms into sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary and igneous rock themselves can turn into metamorphic rocks. The crustal rocks, that is igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary, may be carried down into the mantle interior of the earth through subduction process and the same melt down and turn into molten magma, the source of the igneous rock. Question number 51. Consider the following statement with respect to tsunami waves. With the decrease in speed, the height of the tsunami waves grows. The tsunami which was imperceptible in deep water may grow to many meters high, and it is called the shoaling effect. As a wave approaches the beach, it slows down, and when the depth of water is less than half the wavelength of the wave breaks. Question number 52. Consider the following statement with respect to polar front jet streams. The polar jet is produced by a temperature difference and is closely related to the polar front. It has a more variable position than the subtropical jet. In summer, its position shifts towards the pole, and in winter towards the equator. The polar front jet stream is strong and continuous in winter. Question number 53. Consider the following statement. Endogenic process increase the surface relief, that is a difference between highest and the lowest points within the specified area. They originate within the earth. Example, tectonic process. Wind and flowing water are some common geomorphic agents. Geomorphic agents are medium that pick up more and eventually break the rock matter. Question number 53. Consider the following statement. Endogenic process increases the surface difference between the highest and the lowest point within a specified area. They originate within the earth. Example, tectonic process. Wind and flowing water are some common geomorphic agents. Geomorphic agents are medium that pick up, move, and eventually break the rock matter. Question number 54. Consider the following statement. Faulting is caused by both compression and tension force. The forces create fault. However, the extreme compression can also create faults. Folding is only caused by compression force. Consider the following statement. Basalt is made up of basic lava, which is less viscous and highly fluid type of lava. Shield volcanoes are made up of basalt lava. Repeated eruption result in a steady accumulation of broad sheets of lava, building up the shield volcanoes' distinctive form. Question number 56. Sills are horizontal intrusion of magma. Dikes are vertical intrusions of magma. A batholith is a huge mass of igneous rock, usually granite, Laccolith is an igneous mound with a dome-shaped upper surface. Question number 57. The composite cones are also called stratovolcanoes. A caldera is formed when the volcano collapses after releasing the majority of its magma. When the volcano does not collapse, it forms a crater. Consider the following geological phenomenon. Causes of earthquake: breaking the rock that produce faults, folding of rock, compression causes rock to fold and ultimately break to produce a fault, sudden release of stress along faults in the earth crust, volcanic eruption. They are usually only felt in the vicinity of the hypocenter. Human activity like mine collapse, explosion, etc. Question number 59. Which among the following is an adverse environmental impact of tidal power generation? Tidal power generation does not have any adverse impact on the environmental because it does not emit any kind of gas or air emissions like soot and fine particles which can cause cancer or contribute to the greenhouse impact. It does not cause any kind of pollution, and also energy produced is 100% renewable and reliable. It also reduces the emission of carbon dioxide and contributes to the reduction of other greenhouse gases. It is a very environmental friendly and renewable source of energy. Question number 60. For the study of climate, which of the following is relevant? Stevenson screen, dew point, hygrographic. A Stevenson screen or instrument shelter is a shelter or an exclosure to meteorological instrument against precipitation and direct heat radiation from outside source while still allows air to circulate freely around them. Hygrograph is an instrument for recording automatically variation in atmospheric humidity. Flashpoint is not relevant for the study of climate. A flashpoint is the lowest temperature at which a volatile substance evaporates to form an ignitable mixture with air in the presence of igneous sources and continue burning after the trigger source is removed. Question number 61. What element makes up most the Earth's core? Answer is iron. Unlike the mineral rich crust and mantle, the core is made almost entirely of metal, specifically iron and nickel. The shorthand used for the core's iron nickel alloy is simply the element's chemical symbol NiF. Question number 62. The S wave shadow zone is caused by the outer core. The shadow zone results from S wave being stopped entirely by the liquid core and P waves being bent refracted by the liquid core. Question number 63. Which of the following statements given below regarding fissure types of volcanoes are correct? On the basis of mode of eruption, volcanoes are divided into two types: central type of volcanoes and fissure type of volcanoes. Sometimes deep elongated crack develop due to earthquake or faulting. The magma starts flowing through them quietly. This mode of eruption is called fissure type of eruption. This eruption helps in the formation of thick horizontal sheet of lava or a low dome shaped volcano with a broad base. It may also form what are identified as lava plateaus and lava shields. Deccan traps of India are some examples of fissure type of eruption. Question number 64. Consider the following statement. The ring of fire is the string of volcanoes and site of seismic activity or earthquake around the edges of Pacific Ocean. Roughly 90% of all earthquakes occur along the ring of fire, and the ring is dotted with 75% of all active volcanoes on earth. The ring of fire is a result of plate tectonic, this convergent plate boundary, tectonic plates. are huge slabs of earth's crust which fit together like piece of a puzzle. Most tectonic activity in the ring of fire occurs in this geologically active zone. A convergent plate boundary is formed by tectonic plates crashing into each other. The majority of tectonic earthquakes originate in the ring of fire at the depth not exceeding tens of kilometers. Earthquake occurring at the depth of fewer than 70 km, that is 43 miles, are classified as shallow focus earthquake, while those with the focal depth between 70 to 300 km are commonly termed mid focus or intermediate depth quakes. Question number 65. Consider the following statement regarding circuit. Shallow snow collects at the upper end of the bowl shaped depression are called cirques. Cirques are the most common landforms in glaciated mountain. The cirques quite often are found at the heads of glacial valley. The accumulated ice cuts these cirques with while moving down the mountain tops. A cirque is formed by ice and denotes the head of the glacier. As the ice goes melt and thaws and progressively moves downhill, more rock material is rubbed out from the circuit, creating characteristic bowl shape. Many circuits are so abraded like a lake form and in the base of the circuit once the ice has melted. Question number 66. Which among the following are depositional landforms of the glacier? Depositional landform. Examples include glacial moraines, eskers, and cames. Drumlins and ribbed moraines are also landforms left behind by retreating glaciers. Moraines are the accumulation of angular blocks of rock, boulders, pebbles, and clay that has been deposited by melting glacier or ice sheet at the edges. Eskers are glaciofluvial deposits from sediments carrying subglacial tunnels. As the water emerges from from a tunnel at the bed of an ice sheet or glacier, it will slow down. Since the sediment movement depends on water velocity, the sediment will be deposited. The result is the highly localized deposition. Games are hummockly terrain formed by material that has been transported by glacier meltwater. The reason for the hummock is that when the sediments was deposited, chunk of ice were buried by the sediments, and when the ice melted, a hummocky terrain was formed. Drumlins. These forms are elongated landforms in the direction of ice flow, often some kilometers in length, width of the few hundred meters and the height of 10 meters. Question number 67. The coastal landforms depend upon the configuration of the land and seafloor, orientation of the coast towards the sea, action of waves. All the options are correct. Most of the changes along the coast are accomplished by waves. When waves break, the water is thrown with a great force onto the shore, and simultaneously there is a great churning of sediments on the sea bottom. The constant impact of breaking waves drastically affect the coast. On the other hand, other than the action of waves, the coastal landforms depend upon the configuration of land and seafloor, whether the coast is advancing or that is emerging seaward or retreating that is submerging landward. Question number 68. What is the role of limestone in iron mining? Limestone acts as a flux. Flux is a substance which mixed with solid to lower the melting point. Limestone melts and reacts with sulfur to form slag. Slag means all solid and liquid impurities separated in the form of liquid. The calcium oxide formed from the reaction is used to remove sulfur from the iron. The calcium sulfur becomes a part of the slag. The slag is also formed from any remaining metal oxides like silica, alumina, magnesia, or calcia that enter with the iron ore or coke. The liquid slag then trickles to the bottom of the furnace, where it floats on the top of the iron, a liquid iron, since it is less dense. Question number 69. Consider the following statement. The salinity of water in the surface layer of ocean depends mainly on evaporation and precipitation. Surface salinity is greatly influenced by the coastal region, by the freshwater flow from rivers and polar regions, by the of freezing process of freezing and thawing of ice. Question number 70. Consider the following statement regarding reverse migration. The lockdown since COVID-19 outbreak has caused the mass exodus of migrant workers from industrial hubs towards their native places with the fear of livelihood loss. This has been termed as reverse migration. Raised in disguised unemployment, the returned workforce from cities will engage in agricultural work in village. The agriculture sector is already stressed, and the dependence of a large population will enhance the problem. Reverse migration was seen internationally as well as domestically, as lot of Gulf workers came back to India due to COVID lockdown. Question number 71. Which of the following are direct sources of information about the interior of the earth? Answer is volcano. Direct sources of information about the interior of the earth are as follows. Deep earth mining and drilling reveal the nature of the rock deep down the surface. Volcanic eruption forms another source of obtaining direct information. Indirect source of information about the earth's interior are as follows. First one, increase in pressure and temperature with depth, meteorites, gravitation, magnetic field. Question number 72. Oil is found in petroliferous rock. Which of the among the following structure demonstrate an ideal trap? Answer: anticlinal structure. An anticline is a structural trap formed by the folding of rock strata into an arc-like shape. The rock layer in an anticlinal trap were originally laid down horizontally, and then earth movement caused it to fold into an arc-like shape called an anticline. Reservoir rock layer in an anticline must be overlain by fine-grained cap rock, fine-grained capped rock, which seals the top and the sides. The closure of the anticline trap is the height of the crest above the lowest structural contour that is closed. It is therefore the part or a depth of anticlinal structure that can hold or contain hydrocarbon. Question number 73. Which of the following are potential threat to safety of large dams? Flash floods in catchment area and seismic activity in surrounding area are the potential threat to the safety of large dams. Question number 74. Consider the following statement related to continental slope. Continental slope is the seaward extension of the continental shelf. It is an area or steep slope extending to the deep sea plain. Submarine canyons are important feature of continental slope. These canyons are thought to have been formed by dense sediment laden current called turbidity current. Question number 75. Which of the following are caused by tectonic force? Wrapping, folding, volcanic eruption, and fracture of the earth crust are caused due to tectonic forces. Question number 76. Consider the following statement. The extratropical cyclone cover a large area and can originate over the land and sea, whereas tropical cyclone originate over the sea. The extratropical cyclone have a clear frontal system which is not present in tropical cyclone. Question number 77. Consider the following statement regarding slag. Slag is a silicon dioxide and metal oxide mixture left over as a byproduct of extracting metal from its ore during the smelting process. Once the metal is smelted out of its ore, the ore appears to be glassy. This glassy appearance is caused by the formation of slag on the ore's surface during the smelting process. Slag is used in road making and as slag cement. A final ground slag which can be used in cement often mixed with the Portland cement. Question number 78. The humidity of air measured in percentage is called relative humidity. Relative humidity can be defined as the amount of water vapor present in air expressed as the percentage of the amount needed for saturation at the same temperature. It tells us how much water vapor in is in the air compared to how much it would hold at the temperature. For example, relative humidity of 50% means the air is holding one half of the water vapor it can hold. Question number 79. Which of the following statement regarding the of saturation of day and night is correct? Difference is least near the equator and progressively increases away from it. The day and night are almost 12 hours each in the equator. Hence, places located close to equator do not feel differences between the duration of day and night. The difference increases as we go far from the equator, so the difference in the duration of day and night is least near the equator and progressively increases away from it. Question number 80. How is permaculture farming different from conventional chemical farming? Mollison and David Holmgren coined the word permaculture in 1978. It is defined as the design system for creating sustainable human environment. It uses ecology as the basis for designing integrated system of food production, housing, appropriate technology and community development. It promotes multiple cropping system, relies on organic fertilizer which avoids soil salinity problem. Permaculture takes account of local condition and beneficial for semi-arid region. Question number 81. Consider the following statement about epirogenic movement. Epirogenic or continent forming movement are radial movements act along the radius of the earth. Their direction may be towards subsidence or away uplift from the center. They cause upheaving and depression of land exhibiting undulations, that is wavy surface, of long wavelength and little folding. Question number 82. Which of the following are geomorphic agents? Geomorphic agents are components of nature like running water, moving ice mass or glaciers, wind, waves, current, etc., which are capable of removing, transporting, and depositing earth materials. Question number 83. Consider the following statement. The ultimate source of energy behind forces that drive endogenic movement in Earth's interior heat. Earth's internal heat is a result of mainly radioactive decay, that is 50% of the Earth's internal heat and gravitation causes pressure gradient. Question number 84. Total fertility rate. The total fertility rate is the number of children a woman will likely bear in her lifetime. Question number 85. Which of the following can influence where the convection current travel? Earth's rotation, that is Coriolis effect, can influence where convection current travels, and the destination of the convection current determines the nature and the location of the endogenic movements. What are ophiolite suits? A sequence of rocks consisting of deep sea marine sediment overlying from, that is from top to bottom, pillow basalt, sheeted dikes, gabbrodonite, and peridotite. Ophiolite sequence are indicator of seafloor spreading, where the oceanic crust is thinned by the forces of plate tectonics and the magma rises to the seafloor and generates new crust. As lava spills out into the cold ocean water, it forms pilobasalt. Magma that cools before reaching the surface forms sheeted dikes, dike like appearance to be vertically stratified the wave because of the way the magma cools. Magma cools, cooling deepers in the crust forms gabbro, and peridotite. Question number 87. Match the following. Caldera, that is depression of explosive volcanoes. Deccan traps, flood basalt provinces. Dikes, lava solidified perpendicularly. Plutonic rocks, cooling in the crust. Question number 88. The mechanical transfer of heat by vibration of atoms and molecules termed as conduction. Question number 89. What are the causes of low pressure in equatorial region? Due to high temperature, the low pressure belt is created in the equatorial region. This gives rise to air convection in the area. So, convergence is the effect of low pressure and not its cause. High humidity has no role to play in generation of low pressure areas. Question 90. With reference to internal tropical convergence zone ITCZ, which of the following are true? It is the low pressure zone where winds from tropic converge. It rises up to 14 km in the troposphere and reaches land surface near the equator as easterlies. It is the zone of convergence of easterlies from either side of the equator. Question number 91. Which of the following are true about thunderstorms? Thunderstorms are of short duration. Thunderstorms occur over short areas and are violent. A thunderstorm is a well grown cumulonimbus cloud producing thunder and lightning. Question number 92. Consider the following statement. Wind moves from high pressure areas to low pressure area. Due to gravity, the air due to gravity the air at the surface is denser and hence has higher pressure. Question number 93. Consider the following statement. The reflective quality of the surface expressed in percentage of the total energy received known as its albedo. The albedo of the water surface varies from 2 to 99% depending on the angle of incidence of the sun rays. The overall albedo of cloud is larger than the other surfaces. Albedo of old snow is more than the fresh snow. Question number 94. Inversion of temperature in troposphere occurs when the temperature instead of decreasing increases with height. This phenomenon is called temperature. The temperature instead of decreasing increases with height. This phenomenon is known as inversion. Inversion of temperature in troposphere occurs when weather is stable and air is dry. Question number 95. Consider the following pairs. Focus means earthquake's origin. P waves similar to sound waves because it pushes and pulls the rock it moves through just like sound waves. Richter scale measures severity of earthquake. Question number 96. There are two tidal bulges or pools created by all the water on the earth to cause the changing of tides. What causes the tidal bulge located opposite of the moon? Answer is inertia. Question number 97. Consider the following statement. Acid rocks are characterized by high content of silica, that is quartz and feldspar, up to 80%. The rest is divided among aluminum, alkali, magnesium, iron oxide, lime, etc. These rocks have a lesser content of heavier minerals like iron and magnesium. Hence, they are less dense and are lighter in color than basic rocks. These rocks constitute a sail proportion of the crust. Due to excess of silicon, acid magma cools fast and it does not flow and spread far away. High mountains are formed by these type of rock. Add rocks are Acid rocks are hard, compact, massive, and resistant to weathering. Granite, quartz, feldspar are typical examples. Question number 98. Consider the following statement. Lower part of stratosphere are called ozonosphere. Most of the weather phenomenon takes place in the troposphere. Question number 99. Stable interior portion of the continent characteristically composed of ancient crystalline basement rock is called craton. The term craton is used to distinguish the stable portion of the continental crust from regions that are more geologically active and unstable. Cratons can be described as sheets in which the basement rock crops out at the surface and platform in which the basement is overlaid by sediments and a sedimentary rock. The stable interior portion of the continent characteristically composed of ancient crystalline basement rock is called craton. Question number 100. Consider the following statement. Isotherms almost run parallel to the latitudes. In the northern hemisphere, the isotherms bend the equatorward while crossing land masses and poleward while crossing oceans.